is your girl Titilayo 3.8, and today we are going to be talking about one of the important lessons that I have learned and reflections that I've learned from myself. Because every day is a different opportunity, and every day there is a reflection of who you are pointing back towards you. Now, it all depends on whether you pay attention to listen. Sometimes, when it happens in that exact moment, you might notice it, but you might not internalize it to find out why it is happening. And I have done that so many times in my life that I notice it, but I don't go back to internalize it, why it is happening and why I acted in a certain way, why I said something. We don't go back to internalize it. And some people do go back to internalize it, but they internalize it from the lower mind. So from the memories they have about themselves, and then the mind produces the same thought level that they've always accessed. They don't really get much out of it to improve themselves or to do better or to repeat the good behavior again. So yesterday I was watching my C drama, like Chinese drama. And when I started watching this Chinese drama, it's called Princess Wei Young. I was just watching it for the fun of it. Like I was watching the whole drama, going with the whole drama, and I was loving it. And then as I go to certain part of it, of the drama, I begin to pick up huge life lessons like reflections on identity, self-abandonment, on being in a new identity shift. And to be quite honest, most of the movies that I have seen, most of the dramas that I have seen on Netflix, I'm always having this reflection of identity shift, of upholding your new self. So this one made it much more obvious to me that I started thinking, oh my God, I actually need to start writing and talking about this more because the reflection is becoming bigger and bigger as I watch different episodes. And then one thing I realized is when you are not fully absorbing and integrating the reflection that life is showing to you, it will continue to repeat itself but in different attires. So, for example, my first reflection of identity shift started becoming Anna or inventing Anna on Netflix. And then I got that big reflection. I started moving towards it. My awareness of it was not a lot, but that has to do with identity shift, becoming your true self, who you truly are. And this has been going on anyway for a couple of years. And one thing I realized is that I wasn't fully embodying it, even though intellectually I was understanding it. But the main thing that I really wanted to speak about was my reflection when I started watching this movie. I slowed down, I took out the lesson. It was boom, I was integrating it, I was embodying it. It was like, oh wow, I know I have been thinking about this aspect of my life, like for example, self-abandonment. I know what it was intellectually, but fully embodying it, I didn't really integrate it into my body. But that movie, Princess Wei Young, allowed me to fully embody it. Boom, one lesson done. And as I was watching more, there were more lessons coming through. Now, it got to a point, I started thinking I wanted to get to the end. I started with a love perspective, watching, enjoying it, and then all of a sudden, I moved into fear perspective of wanting to know, oh, what's going to happen to her? Oh my God, is all going to switch on her? Is all going to frame her again? Now, my mindset moved into fear. Now, the moment I moved into fear, I started rushing through every episode. I'll be rushing, rushing, skipping, skipping, skipping. Every drama, I was just skipping, skipping, skipping. And I started noticing that my mind is trying to get to the end, My mind is trying to be certain of what's gonna happen. And then in that process of rushing, I started like over stimulating myself. I was over watching it. I was binging it. And even though my eyes were hurting, I just wanted to get to the end. I kept looking, how many more episodes do I have to go? Oh, okay, let me just go through like the brief of each episode. Let me see what it's about. Maybe I could just skip a few episodes and go to the ones that are going to be interesting. And then noticing all of these patterns in me because guess what? This pattern is reflected in the movies I'm watching, but it also reflects in my work, in my life, in how I'm. And most times, sometimes I'm not seeing it. And it begins to all make sense. And this is what I really want to talk to you about because you might not fully understand where I'm coming from, but I want to start telling you about the point that I've picked up from my reflection. The first one I want to talk about is fear. Fear creates urgency. So, like I said, as I was watching the Princess Wei this C drama, I started with love, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, I don't know when I switched. I'm trying to think about it. What made me switch? Because I was now fixated on the outcome. I wanted to know how it ended when she actually became a princess. I was just fixated on the outcome because I've already seen the outcome from the movie, like when they started the intro that she's going to become a princess. So I just wanted to get there faster now. I started with love, and a lot of us do it with our business. For example, I started business. We started business out of love, out of helping people. And then all of a sudden, we get to the middle part of it and we start thinking about the outcome. So if I do this one, two, three, four, five, this is what I'm going to get. All right. Now we just switch immediately to fear and then we fixate our mind on the outcome. And because we've switched to fear, we move into an urgency mode. We start wanting to do things faster, wanting to learn things faster. Then we overwork ourselves. Then we are doing more, being more, just doing, wanting to have more because we want to get the end result faster. And this is the trick of the mind because we've moved into a survival mode. And that survival mode is fear. And our nervous system likes certainty. Our nervous system wants to keep us safe. So because we've moved into fear, we move into a feeling or like an emotion that makes the mind and the nervous system feel unsafe. So the nervous system wants to feel safe again. So the nervous system seeks certainty and the nervous system drives us faster. Let's get to the end quicker. All right, then the nervous system narrows your mind to what would make you get there quicker. And I'm not saying this is a bad idea or a bad emotion to flow with. However, if you allow fear to dominate your thinking, it would crush you because living from a fear and survival mode does not allow you to experience all that is available to you. It fixates you on one particular lane of getting to the end quicker and you crash. Because when you get to the end, like you see it, you say, oh, I've gotten the result I want. You enjoy it for a little while. And then before you know it again, the nervous system will feel uncertain. Because the truth is, when you get to the end, there is another beginning. So immediately you get to the end, then there's another beginning that the nervous system feels unsafe again. The nervous system is scared again. The nervous system start thinking, okay, we need to get to the end again. We've got another one. We need to get to the end. So a lot of people keep moving on this fear mentality. For me, like I would possibly finish watching this drama, get to the end, and say, oh, that was nice. I really enjoyed it. I'll pick up some lessons that I learned, and then I'll think, okay, what's the next one I can watch? Now, I've started again. And then when I start again, I'll repeat the same process. Like, I saw Empress Key. As I was watching Empress Key, I saw a lot of the things, reflections I was getting from Empress Key. I'm also seeing it in Princess Wei. My mind is telling me that, oh, these people are copying Princess Wei Young. The storyline is so the same. However, even if the storyline looks the same, my perception, my reflection is reflecting the lesson that maybe that I could have picked up in Empress K and I didn't pick it up. It's coming back again. And this is how we repeat the same word process. Life will never give you what you've not finished learning. Life will always keep repeating the lesson and the opportunities that are there for you to keep learning and absorbing it. It's only when you finish learning it, absorbing it, fully experiencing it, that is when life will now give you new experiences to learn. But if we keep rushing through life, we just keep rushing into survival mode, fear mode, urgency mode, repeating same old experiences dressed in different attire. So fear creates urgency and keeps you in a survival mode. And I'll just give you some little examples so that you can fully understand it. I binge watch because I want to get to the end faster. And sometimes I might overwork, or some people just overwork because they believe that if we work more, you can quickly get your results quicker and enjoy it. But once you get your results quicker and you enjoy it, then you start all over again. So the lessons that you have missed previously will now come again in your new problem. Well, it's going to be a new problem, but it's still the old lessons that you've missed whilst rushing the first or the second or the 100th lesson. This is where some people do a doom scrolling. They scroll on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, or watch TV, or that's what happens when you operate from fear. This is where emotional attachment happens. We're so emotionally attached to what we are. Maybe for me, I was so emotionally attached to what I was watching that I was just watching to get to the end. Or some people are so emotionally attached to their work, or they're so emotionally attached, helping, because they want to feel certain. All of this is happening. And what is happening beneath all of this? The nervous system is trying to escape uncertainty. The nervous system likes to feel safe. So when the nervous system notices that they are not safe, all the nervous system wants to do is escape, then puts you into a fear mode. We need to be safe. Then it creates this urgency in your mind. Move faster, work more, do more. And this is what happens. The second thing I want to let you know is that rushing steals embodiment. This is one of my biggest awareness because I realize that when you are rushing, you cannot fully embrace, integrate everything that is around you. For example, I was rushing in watching the episode, and then I was picking up little life experiences, little life reflections, little patterns in me that I changed. But I picked it up intellectually, but I did not allow it to sink through my body. I just started moving. I was like skipping, like pressing 10 plus, 10 plus, move forward, move forward. I was saying to myself, the drama is too much. These people love drama. Oh gosh, now I'm beginning to realize, put that drama in there for a purpose, for it to sink in through your body and your mind, not just intellectually. And this I noticed. I was picking up lessons that I could learn from, that could change my life. But then because I was working from a fear perspective, wanting to be certain, wanting to know the end result, wanting to know why this happened to her, wanting to know how she caught up, wanting to know how she finally conquered. I was just skipping all of it. And this happens again in life. It's like when a beautiful, nice meal is served to you, there is a difference between chewing the food and swallowing it. A lot of us do that. We just swallow the food, not like in reality, but in terms of life. So instead of enjoying the process, trying to like, see, oh, they've added this, I can feel salt, I can feel this seasoning, I can feel rosemary in what I'm eating. Oh, this is nice. Oh, I like the sensation of it. We don't. We just swallow all our experiences through life. We never allow our body to fully integrate. And then we say, if someone asks us, how was the food? Oh, I've eaten it. That's all I can say. I've eaten it. It made me full. Let's go on to the next one. This is what a lot of us are doing. We work, we move so fast through life. We say, oh, I've eaten it. I've gone through that experience. Like, for example, say, I wanted to lose weight. Oh, I've lost the weight. I've gone through that experience. What's the next one? And they pick up the next goal. Okay, I want to gain muscle. They rush, put in so much work, so much effort. Now I've gained the muscle. What's the next one? I'm not saying that making goals and moving on to the next one is wrong, but rushing through the experiences is what makes life repeat again, because there is so much more that your body wants to experience. We're not here on this planet to achieve goal without experiencing it. Our body wants to experience this. These goals have actually been placed in our mind, in our heart, to allow us to move forward towards something, to allow us to experience things around us. If we're not allowing our body to experience the things that our soul wants to experience, we would repeat the same kind of lessons, the same kind of life, but in a different attire. So it's always good to allow our body to experience life rather than rushing through it. Because this is where a lot of us keep having same old problems, but in different attires. Like, for example, you want to make 100,000 pounds or dollars a year. And then you say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna move through it. You rush yourself through the process, you make the 100K, and then you get to the end, and then you think, okay, what's the next goal? The next goal will not take you higher than that 100K. You will go through another journey. You might have set a goal to get 250K, but life will not let you get onto that 250K until all the experiences that is necessary for you to learn and fully integrate and go through until you've learned it. That was when life will now take you to a different and higher experience. Another example is myself. I've always wanted to be a successful entrepreneur, but I've always wanted to experience higher level of growth, higher level of successes. However, I started my cake business, and at first it was sweet. I enjoyed it. Then at one point, I was fixated on the outcome, fixated on how much money I can make, fixated on how much money I can get, how I can change my life. So I started rushing through the process. And then I got to a point, I didn't know where I was going. I crashed. I closed my cake business down. I went into something else, and I was enjoying the process. I got to a point again. I was rushing through the process, crashed again. Came back, started my fitness business, and now started rushing through the process until I got to a point I started thinking, what the heck am I doing? Rushing to get to the end point, and always never breaking through, always never succeeding. That was when I actually started to do a reset. And that was where my concept of the life reset came into place. I started thinking, Titilayo, we need to reset. We need to fully come back to the true essence of who we are. So right now, even in my reset phase, I am no longer rushing. I am not beginning to notice. I am not beginning to be aware. I'm not beginning to see reflection of the same old lessons that I should have learned 10 years ago, and I've now only started beginning to integrate it. Even though those lessons have been there, I never integrated it. And this is where identity shift is very important. And now I am assimilating it, I'm integrating it. And as I'm integrating it, do not get it wrong. Fear is softly coming into my mind. The old mindset, the old ways, because I've been in that mindset and frame of mind for a long time, it's begin creeping slowly and getting me back into the rushing moment. The good thing is now I can see it clearly. Whenever I get into the face, even if I get into the face for a little bit, I see them like, holy moly, this thing is trying to get me back into the same way. And this is why I'm actually doing this recording. I bring myself out. I saw myself going into the rushing mode because the rushing mode is only going to start through pleasure. And for me, for most people, it starts through pleasure. You rush, 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 rush through pleasure. And before you know it, that same kind of mindset will start working with your business, start working at home, start working with other people. And I noticed it. Oh, this mindset of rushing, yeah, I started to creep it again. And now I noticed it. I caught it and I'm putting it in its right place. There is moments that this fear is needed. Right now, it's not needed. And that we can discuss in the next audio. Now, I believe I've spoken about outcome when we're so fixated on the outcome, but I'm not going to speak a lot about it. I'm just going to say the little mind trick that the mind plays on you that allows you to get addicted to the outcome. Like I was addicted to the outcome, wanting to know what happened, what's going to happen to the princess. Is she going to be burnt? Is she going to die? Oh, like, oh my God, they're gonna make her die. Then I rush, rush, rush. I want to see what's gonna happen. This is it. And this mindset trick comes up in reality. We say, oh, when I get there, I'll relax. So we rush, 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 rush. I can't pay attention to my body. I can't pay attention to how I feel. Let me just do it. Let me just do it. Because when I get the end result, then I'll relax. This is how it happens. For me, it was one more episode in my work. Sometimes, oh, one more task. I just need to complete this task. When I complete this task, I'll relax. Oh, let me just do more post, more post. Let me post more content, more content. When I do this, I'll relax. When I do this, oh, I'll feel certain. And for some people, it's like one more achievement, one more achievement. Let me just achieve this goal. Okay, let me just one more course. When I have this one more course, one more course, one more. Oh, and then for some people, is let me get to the weight that I want. Oh, when I reach 50 kg, when I reach 48 kg, when I, oh my God. And it's just one more and one more. We addicted to the outcome. We've put our feelings, our emotions on pause and say, oh, when I get to what I want, that's when I'll be happy. That's when I'll feel at peace. That's when everything that I want would come. Oh, sis, when you get there, you will never feel at peace. You will never be happy because when you get to the end, that is the beginning of another. So why put your emotions, why put your feelings, why put your happiness, your joy on pause? This is why a lot of us are going through that circle, putting our happiness, they call it the pursuit of happiness, actually. We're pursuing happiness. We postpone happiness to the end. When I'm in my four-bedroom home, I'll be happy. So let's just work, 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 grind, 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 grind. And when you actually get that four-bedroom home, then there's another thing. Your happiness skips forward again. You're not fully enjoying life. And this is the pursuit of happiness. every moment is meant to be a happy moment. You can be happy in every moment. You can be joyous in every moment. You just have to decide. You have to choose it. The last one, I think I've spoken about overdoing. And one thing I want to let you know is that overdoing is often disguised as productivity or comfort. Overdoing is often avoidance, avoiding another certain part of our life. We don't want to face another certain part of our life. It could be escapism as well, like you have a conversation that you have to make maybe with your spouse, but because you want to avoid it, you don't want to face it, then we bury our head scrolling on Instagram, on YouTube, watching motivational speeches, everything. I'm not saying you should not do it, but there's time and space for everything. But I'm talking about overdoing it. Maybe binging Netflix like I was doing. You can scroll on Instagram, you can watch YouTube channel, you can listen to motivational videos, audios, but there is time and space. And your body and your mind will always signal to you that, oh, I think this is enough. Let's move on to something else. However, because we're trying to avoid, we ignore that call and we keep doing it. And this can also be disguised as productivity. We tell ourselves, I'm being responsible. I'm going to focus. And some people will just stay there because they're too comfortable. They don't want to move into something that is not comfortable. And these are all tricks of the mind because your mind feels threatened when there is space, when there is an empty space. When you are exposed, basically, you can literally see how and who you truly are. Your mind doesn't like that. Your mind likes to defend. Your mind likes to hide so that it could repeat the same old programming. Your mind does not like new programming. So anything to make you avoid, anything to make you face yourself, anything to make you just create an empty space doing nothing and just be, your mind doesn't want this. That's why they say the mind is like a jumping monkey. It does not want you to just be and relax. Your mind wants to be in control because when there's an empty space, when you can face yourself and see who you truly are, you are connected to presence. You are connected to God. You are connected to the true source of your power. So your mind would disconnect you and your mind would make you overdo. Okay. So one last bit that I want to cover is that rushing can be balanced. So I'm not saying that because we want to avoid rushing, we should now slow down extremely and we don't move. There has to be a balance because you can move and be present through activity, through things that you're doing, and move swiftly to the next event or experience of your life, but by being present, to acknowledge, to see the opportunities around you and to embody it, integrate it, allow it to flow and move through you. And then you move on to the next phase of your life or the next activity that you need to do. That is a good way to move by being present and moving, but not staying still. And extreme there's another thing that people do because they want to slow down, then they really slow down. They don't move, they just get too comfortable and they just stay there with the same old activity. For example, with what I was binge watching, Princess Wei, even though I know that it is hurting my eyes, even though I know that I was overdoing it. I just stayed there because it was comfortable. I was seeking certainty, and I just stayed there. I was not assimilating anything. I was not integrating. I was just avoiding, and I just stayed there. And that is slowing down way too much. You don't move. You're not experiencing anything new. You're just being in comfort. That can destroy you. That can destroy the experiences. That can make your experiences repeat itself again and again. Even when I now get to the end of Princess Wei Young, because I wasn't moving, I wasn't being present, I wasn't integrating, I was overdoing. I will now go and look for another similar movie again and do the same thing. And then I'll just keep having the same old results, but in different clothing, in different movies. And this is how some of us are moving through life. Anyway, the real goal is not about slowing down. The real aim is that you want to move through life with presence and love. You want to be in love because when you are actually operating from love, it allows you to be fully present. It allows you to integrate everything that is around you and the opportunities that is around you, allows you to go through the head into the body, and it gives you that mind and body coherence. It gives you that coherence so that you can move fully, integrate it, experience it, and it allows you to move on onto a higher step of your life. So I hope this audio is been very helpful and you've benefited from it. You might want to slow down as well when you listen to this audio and pick out important aspects that are reflecting to you that you can use. Write it down. Do not just go through it, then move on to the next episode or move on to another podcast again. Then we realize that, oh, what that person said in episode one is actually what's happening again in episode two, but in a different style, in a different way. And I have done that in my life. I've moved on so swiftly from one coaching to another, not fully embracing and learning what is really important. My result remaining on the same level, and we just keep repeating. And I said to myself, Titilayo, not this time. We are going to fully embrace and embody all that we need before we move on to the next one. Because when we move on to the next one, we're moving on to a higher experience and a different result. Not the same old result, clothed in a different way. All right, my queen, this has really helped me, and I hope it would really help you. I'll see you in the next episode. It's your girl again, Titilayo 3.8. Bye bye.